Okay, class, I'm me, you are you. Let's get this week started. All right, so this week we are going to be discussing the product life cycle. It basically the short version of what a product life cycle is you have an idea, you develop it, you create it, you manufacture it, you retail it and market it, and your customers buy it, they use it, then they dispose of it, or it's recycled or repurposed. And that's the product life cycle. And there's a lot of factors that go into this, and you're going to be learning that this week. But you're also going to be learning a few additional wonderful concepts in the material. And if I could find where I just put my Zoom window, there it is. All right, so what we have, we're going to be learning this week is you're going to be learning some of the nuances or the specifics about manufacturing. There is a design for X, there's design for manufacturing, and these are different ways to approach the process, different processes that are used, different ways we look at it. Okay, you're going to be learning about those. I'm looking through my notes here, which I'll be posting as we go through the week. Production as we know it really began about 80 to 100 years ago. Um, Manufacturing before that was smaller. It was cottage industries. It was family owned and operated businesses. And I've mentioned it before, but if my father was a blacksmith, I would be a blacksmith. My son would be a blacksmith. And eventually our last name would probably become Smith. And this is where a lot of last names come from. My last name, Gagnon, is actually a French word for farmer. So that tells you the lineage in my family. We had a lot of farmers back in, well, over the past few hundred years and probably earlier. But manufacturing goes all the way back to ancient times, ancient Sumeria to be specific. That's the first organized civilization on the planet. I mean, we probably could go back to Göbekli Tepe, but we don't have a lot of information about how people used that particular center. But we do when it comes to Sumeria, not Sumeria, but Sumeria. It's in Mesopotamia, basically now where we would find Iraq. People have been doing commerce, producing products and selling them throughout all of mankind's civilized experience. In other words, living in cities, urbanized, living even in villages and small tribes. But the last 80 to 100 years saw a lot of forward motion in how we produce things. We went from the Industrial Revolution, the first one, all the way to where we are today, where we have 3D printers, which is something else you're going to be exploring this week. 3D printing from a manufacturing perspective. You see, a lot of manufacturing is subtractive. I take a block of aluminum, I run it through a series of processes, and I form the car part. I remove material in a subtractive manner to make the product. But additive manufacturing is starting with just really nothing and building that part up. And 3D printers have gotten to the point where they even use like metal. Now, some of the specifications for heat and endurance, we're not exactly all the way there yet to be able to build a car all the way from start to finish with 3D printing. Because there's some stressors that occur, and 3D printing doesn't allow us to use the right materials and the right way to handle that type of stress. But what it does do is if we have a very specific part that needs specialized chambers built into it, we can do that as we build that part. Now it's more costly, but we come up with a part that is more, well, I hate to say it, but perfect for that function. But it's not always beneficial to use additive manufacturing. So a lot of companies stick with subtractive manufacturing. Some do a hybrid approach where they do some subtractive and some additive. So what's the future look like for manufacturing? I think it's interesting to think about this. And from the standpoint of being a futurist, really, what does the future hold for us? So you, like I said, you're going to be going through a number of these manufacturing approaches. And let me pull up my other set of notes here. I have two sets open. I'm going to have to do some editing on them to make sure we're up to date with the update that the class has recently gone through. One thing that manufacturing either does great or doesn't do at all is customer customization. Customer customization. And that is a customer calling in or doing an order online and ordering a specific item tailored to their needs. When you order business cards, that's what this is. It's customer customization. Not everything can be customized. If I go buy a new car, I can pick certain things I want as far as for the package. I can pick the color. I can pick the interior type, but I'm limited to just the selection they have available. And a lot of times, I can't customize anything at all. Like when I go to the store and I buy something as simple as a flash drive. If I buy a flash drive and I want to pay a decent price for it, I just buy one off the shelf. I can't customize it. If I want one that has Dr. Gagnon on there or OPM rocks, I have to order it from someplace online or a shop locally, and they're going to have to print it out onto there, and it's going to cost me more. So I get the flash drive, but it costs me more for the customization. And so manufacturing, when they take the 3D approach, when they use 3D printing, they're able to do more customization. Now, I want you to increase the scale here. Instead of me looking for one of these, I'm a company, let's say maybe IBM or Microsoft or Google. And I want to order some of these and I want to give them to my employees or maybe potential customers as some sort of marketing tool. I can do that by ordering and customizing the order. And now the additional cost gets worked into a per piece payment. So now I'm not having to pay an exorbitant amount. If I order one of these online, I might be paying $15, $20 if I want it customized. If I order it in a pack of 1,000, a batch of 1,000, that price could come down from, let's say, $15 a unit, maybe down to $12 a unit. And so that brings the cost down. So now we're able to offer these customers more customization because we're able to do 3D printing, which is, of course, as I said earlier, additive printing. And so I wanted just to kind of hit some of these things. This week is going through some of the nuts and bolts of what manufacturing is, what the processes are, the different approaches to it. You do have a discussion that's due on Wednesday. You have the you have to do at least two replies, and that's replying to two different classmates, and that's due by Sunday. And then you've got you have to participate in a virtual field trip and follow the instructions. And if you have any questions, please send me an email. But it's not a on-site field trip. This is a virtual field trip, so you can do it from the comfort of your own computer. And I want you to pay attention because this is going to be the beginning of how you start thinking about that ultimate capstone project. Okay. Yes, you've been doing a little bit now, but now you're really getting more specific into it. You're doing some of the digging, some of the research. So do this virtual field trip. If you have any questions or if anything arises, please get a hold of me. Send me an email. Thank you very much, and you have an awesome, wonderful week 4. Now I got to find the off button.